Man, it feels like every time I check the AI news, there's something mind-blowing that just dropped.
It really is moving at an incredible pace.
Right. And for people like our listeners who want to keep up, but also, have a life outside of AI, it can be kind of overwhelming.
Exactly. It's hard to know where to even begin.
Yeah, and that's exactly why we do these deep dives, right?
That's the idea.
We take a stack of information in this case from a document we have, and then we just pull out like the most crucial and interesting insights.
Yeah. The stuff you really need to know.
Right, and I think that's really valuable for our audience.
I hope so.
Yeah, so today's mission, we're going to be navigating the latest in AI models, tools, and their implications.
Yeah, we've got some pretty amazing developments to cover, actually.
Yeah, there really are.
Like everything from these new image generation models that are just blowing people's minds
Oh, yeah.
to breakthroughs in how efficient these large language models are becoming.
Right.
And of course, the whole world of AI agents, which is just exploding right now.
It's really heating up.
It,
All right, so let's dive in. And I think a good place to start is with the visual stuff, right? The image generation.
yeah, okay, so there's this new player on the scene called Reeve.
Reeve. Yeah.
And this is developed by a team that comes from like Stability AI and Adobe.
Wow, so they know what they're doing.
Yeah, they've got some serious experience.
Yeah.
And Reeve is already like making waves.
Interesting.
It's actually surpassed Recraft on the artificial analysis leaderboard.
Really surpassing Recraft, huh? That's a big deal.
That is not easy to do.
So what's so special about this Reeve? What's going on there?
So from what I've seen, it's really good at a few things.
Okay.
Like the text rendering in images is supposed to be exceptional,
Okay.
which is huge if you're trying to like create realistic signage or, anything with text in the image.
Right.
And it's also really good at sticking to the prompt.
Ah, so it does what you tell it to.
It actually understands what you're asking for.
That's nice.
Yeah. And then the aesthetics, the overall quality of the image is just really impressive. But maybe the most interesting thing is the typography.
The typography.
Yeah, apparently it's even better than ideogram in that area.
Really? Wow. I mean, I guess you don't always think about typography, but it makes sense when you consider how much text there is in visual media.
Absolutely, it's everywhere.
So what's the driving philosophy behind this thing?
Well, they talk about intent-driven visual creation.
Intent-driven.
So it's not just about, you know, understanding the words and the prompt.
It's more than that.
It's about actually getting the user's intent, like what they're really trying to achieve.
Interesting. So going a little deeper.
Yeah, and they're doing some really interesting things architecturally as well.
Oh, okay. I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
So the speculation is that Reeve isn't actually a single model.
What?
It's more like a composite of multiple models.
Oh, that's fascinating.
So you can imagine like one model that's amazing at understanding the nuances of language.
Right?
And then another model that's great at generating textures.
Okay.
And then another one that's specialized in typography.
Wow, so it's like a team of AI specialists.
Yeah, exactly. Like a little dream team working together to create this one image.
That's a really cool concept.
Yeah, it is.
All right, so moving on from the visual world, let's talk about language models.
Okay.
Those are also just evolving at an unbelievable pace.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So what's new in the world of LLMs?
Well, we've got a few big updates.
Okay.
So DeepSeek just released DeepSeek V30324.
E3. Okay.
And this thing is massive.
Okay.
It's got something like 685 billion parameters.
685 billion.
That's insane.
That's a huge number. I mean, just to give our listeners some context, parameters are basically like the connections in the AI's neural network.
Yeah, the more parameters generally, the more the model can learn.
Right. So 685 billion, that's got to be good for something.
It is. It's performing really well in evaluations.
Oh, okay. Like what kind of evaluation?
So it's pretty much on par with Google's Sonnet 3.6.
Okay.
And it's even beating DeepSeek R1 and Claude 3.7 in some tests.
Oh, wow. So it's really at the cutting edge.
Yeah, it's up there.
But it's not just about raw power, though, right? You also want efficiency.
Yeah, absolutely. Efficiency is crucial.
And how does this DeepSeek V3 stack up in that area?
Well, it can actually process over 20 tokens per second.
20 tokens per second. Wow.
And that's on an M3 Ultra using MLX LM.
Okay, so that's pretty impressive.
It is, especially for a model that size.
Yeah.
And for those who want to try it out, it's available through Hyperbolic Labs and Fireworks AI.
Okay, noted.
Yeah.
So what else is new in LLMs?
Oh, Alibaba just released Quinn 2.5 VL32B Instruct.
Okay, a mouthful.
It is a bit of a mouthful.
So what's the VL stand for?
That stands for vision language.
Vision language, interesting.
So it can handle both visual and text information.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and it's doing really well on vision tasks.
Like what kind of tests?
So it's actually outperforming their own larger model, Qwen 2.572B.
Really?
Yeah, and it's also beating GPT-4o Mini in those areas.
Wow, so it's not just identifying objects, it's actually understanding the visual content? That's really impressive.
Yeah, and it's not just vision either.
Oh, there's more.
Yeah, Qwen 2.5 VL is also showing improvements in math reasoning,
Okay.
and its responses are better aligned with what humans prefer.
Oh, that's really important.
Yeah, so it's getting smarter and more trustworthy at the same time.
You love to see it.
It's a good combination.
All right, and it looks like NVIDIA is also making some moves in the visual processing world.
Yeah, they've released these new Mamba image backbones on Hugging Face.
Mamba image backbones. Okay.
Yeah, so this is kind of a different approach to processing images.
Okay. How so?
Well, it uses a different architecture than the usual transformer networks,
Interesting.
and it's designed to be really efficient for handling sequential data, like the pixels in an image.
Oh, I see. So it's like a more specialized approach for visual information.
Exactly.
All right, so we've got these incredible models, but how are they actually being used in the real world?
That's where the frameworks and tools come in.
Right, so what are we seeing there?
Well, frameworks like LangChain and LangGraph are becoming really popular.
LangChain, I've heard of that one.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
And we're seeing them being used by some big companies.
Oh, yeah, like who?
Well, Vodafone is using it for their AI assistants,
Interesting.
and Klarna is using it for customer support.
Makes sense.
And there's even a medical supply chain system that's using it.
Wow. So really diverse applications.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing to see how these tools are making LLMs more accessible and practical.
It is, and it's not just about using the tools as they are.
Okay.
There's also a lot of work going into refining how AI agents actually plan and execute tasks.
Yeah, that's right.
So what's happening in that area?
Well, the design of planners for AI agents is a really hot topic.
Planners, okay.
Yeah, so these are basically the mechanisms that allow an AI agent to figure out how to achieve a goal.
Interesting.
And there are a few different approaches being explored.
Like what?
Well, one is called React Tree. Yeah, and that involves the agent kind of interleaving its reasoning steps with actions.
Okay, so it's thinking and acting at the same time.
Yeah, okay.
Interesting.
And then there's MuZero,
MuZero.
which is based on reinforcement learning techniques.
Okay.
And that helps the agent learn how to make the best decisions in complex situations.
So we're really moving towards AI that can not only understand but also act strategically.
Absolutely.
That's exciting and a little scary.
Yeah, a little bit of both.
So what about small agents? Have you been following that?
Yeah, Smolligence is doing really well.
Okay.
It's a framework for building smaller, more specialized agents.
Interesting.
And it's just hit 15,000 stars on GitHub.
Wow, that's a lot of interest.
Yeah, it's clearly resonating with the developer community.
And they've added sandbox code execution, right?
Yeah, which is really important for safety.
Right. You don't want those agents running wild.
Exactly. Got to keep them contained.
So are there any platforms out there that are making these powerful models easier for people to access?
Yeah, Together Chat is a good example.
Either chat.
Yeah, they feature open source models like DeepSeek R1.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's a good way to make these advanced technologies more available to a wider audience.
Really important for fostering innovation.
Absolutely.
Now, earlier you mentioned Aider, and it sounded like there was a funny story there.
Oh, yeah. Aider ran into a bit of a snag with Sonnet 3.7.
Oh, what happened?
Well, Sonnet 3.7 was being a little overeager.
Overeager? How so?
It was suggesting way too many code modifications.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was like a little too enthusiastic.
That's funny.
Yeah. So Aider actually had to add a line to the prompt just to tell Sonnet to chill out a bit.
You're kidding.
Nope, it's true.
So they just told it to calm down.
Pretty much.
Amazing.
Sometimes you just got to talk to the AI like it's a person.
That's hilarious.
It is.
So what else is going on with Aider?
Well, they've launched a new website, aider.chat.
Aider.chat.
Okay. Yeah. And they've expanded the range of models it supports.
Okay, like what kind of models?
So it now works with Claude 3.7, Sonnet, DeepSeek, OpenAI models like GPT-4o.
Wow, so pretty much all the big ones.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it works with over 100 programming languages, right? So it's a
Right.
pretty versatile tool.
Yeah, it's really powerful.
Okay, so stepping back a bit, it feels like AI agents are really becoming a major force.
They are. It's a really exciting area.
Yeah, it's like we're moving beyond simple prompt response interactions.
Exactly. It's about building more autonomous systems.
Right, systems that can handle complex tasks over time.
Yeah, and the idea of agent engineering is actually starting to be defined more formally.
Interesting.
Yeah, some researchers are proposing that it has 6 key elements,
6 key elements, okay.
so it's becoming a more structured field.
And we're already seeing some really cool applications of agents in the real world.
Yeah, the Cogent integration with Linear is a great example.
Oh yeah, tell me about that.
So they've built agents that can handle software development tickets.
Really?
Yeah, they can analyze them, resolve them, close them, and even identify duplicates.
That's amazing. So they're basically like AI help desk agents.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Wow, and this is all happening right now.
It is. It's pretty mind-blowing.
It is now figuring out how to measure the performance of these agents. That seems like a tricky challenge.
It is because they're becoming so sophisticated.
Right.
So there's a debate going on about the best way to evaluate them.
Okay.
Traditionally, the metric has been pass at K.
Pass at K. Okay.
Which basically means, can the agent solve the task within a certain number of attempts?
Right.
But now people are talking about pass.
Pass to the power of K.
Yeah, which is more about consistency.
Okay.
Can the agent solve the task reliably every time?
So it's not just about whether it can do it, but whether it can do it consistently.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, let's switch gears again and talk about the broader economic and strategic implications of all this.
Okay.
It feels like AI is about to have a huge impact on the world.
It is.
Yeah.
And the GATE model is actually predicting some pretty massive changes.
Oh, yeah. What are they saying?
Well, they're forecasting trillions of dollars in AI investments.
Trillions with a T.
Yeah, and massive growth in computing infrastructure.
Makes sense.
And they're also predicting significant economic growth driven by AI.
Wow. So they're really betting big on AI.
They are.
And it's not just about the money, right? There are also strategic considerations,
Yeah, no.
like national security and stuff.
Exactly. And we're seeing that play out already.
Oh, yeah. How so?
Well, Sakana AI just won an award at the U.S.-Japan competition for defense innovation.
Wow. So AI is becoming a key factor in defense strategy.
It is.
And there are also a lot of different opinions about which countries are ahead in the AI race.
People are talking a lot about China in particular,
Right.
and whether they have an advantage in terms of data, government support, and talent.
Yeah, it's a global competition for sure.
It is a big one.
Now, what about AGI, artificial general intelligence?
Oh, yeah. That's the holy grail.
Right, so are we getting any closer to that?
Well, the ARC AGI benchmark just released its second version.
ARC AGI-2.
Yeah, and they're offering a $700,000 prize to anyone who can crack it.
$700,000.
That's a lot of money.
It is. But how are current AI systems doing on this benchmark?
Not great, to be honest.
Yeah.
Even the most advanced systems are scoring really low.
Okay.
And a lot of them require test time adaptation, which means they have to be tweaked during the evaluation process.
So it sounds like we're still pretty far from true AGI.
Yeah, it's that long road ahead.
Now, one of the big challenges with AI is efficiency, right?
Mm,
Especially with these massive models.
absolutely.
So I saw that Meta was doing some research on low-bit quantization.
Yeah, PerdoQ.
PerdoQ, okay.
So they're looking at ways to reduce the number of bits needed to represent the model's parameters.
Okay.
And they're actually talking about 2-bit models.
2 bits, that's insane.
It is incredibly compressed.
So what would that mean in practice?
Well, it could make these models way more efficient.
Okay.
They're saying you could get a 2-bit model with only a 10% increase in compute cost.
Really? So that would be huge for running AI on devices with limited resources.
Absolutely, like smartphones or embedded systems.
Yeah, that's a game changer.
But there are some potential downsides, too.
Oh, yeah. What are those?
There could be some slowdowns in inference speed.
Okay.
And there's also the question of whether quantization will impact the model's intelligence.
Right. So it's a trade-off.
Yeah, you got to balance efficiency with capability.
Now, we're also seeing LLMs doing more than just text, right? Their capabilities are expanding into other areas?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like what kind of areas?
Well, there's been some work on creating visualizations and explanations to help people understand how transformers work.
Okay, so getting under the hood.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we're also seeing progress in multimodal models.
Multimodal.
Yeah, so these models can handle text images, audio, all kinds of data.
Oh, that's cool. Breaking down the barriers between different types of information.
Yeah, exactly.
And it looks like Meta is also busy testing out new models.
Yeah, they're running tests on anonymous Llama and Meta models on Chatbot Arena.
Oh, interesting. So they're getting feedback and comparing different variations.
Yeah, and some people think these are actually prototypes for Llama 4.
Ooh, sneak peek into the future.
Maybe.
Okay, now one of the big challenges with LLMs is hallucination.
Yeah, they can make stuff up sometimes.
Right, and that can be a problem. So are there any solutions on the horizon?
Well, there's this new model called Teapot LLM.
Teapot LLM, okay.
Yeah, and it's designed to be hallucination resistant.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's specifically for question answering and document extraction.
Okay.
And it can run entirely on CPU.
Wow, so it's really accessible.
Yeah, anyone can use it.
That's awesome. Now, what about ChatGPT?
What about it?
Well, they've added that new memory feature, right?
Yeah, new improved memory alpha.
But it sounds like the rollout has been a bit messy.
Yeah, it has.
Like people are having trouble accessing it, and it's not always working consistently.
Yeah, it's been frustrating for some users.
It seems like even with these established products, there are still some growing pains.
Definitely.
Now, Anthropic is another company that's doing really well, right?
Yeah, they are.
They're making some serious money.
They are reportedly generating $115 million a month.
$115 million a month.
That's crazy.
It is. And that's about what OpenAI was making back in November 2023.
Yeah, so they're growing really fast.
That's impressive. It is. Now, speaking of putting AI to work, I saw something about using it to fix software bugs.
Oh, yeah, that was a cool experiment.
What was it?
So they used Claude 3.7 to automatically identify and fix bugs in production code.
Really? Wow, that could be a game changer for developers.
It could if it works reliably.
Yeah.
But it's a very promising development.
It is.
Yeah.
All right, and finally, let's touch on AI video generation.
Okay.
That's another area that's just exploding right now.
It is. The progress is unbelievable.
Yeah. And One I2V AI is really pushing the boundaries.
They are. They've got some amazing new features. Well, the quality of the video frames is getting really good. And to give you an idea of what these models can do, one of the prompts they shared was, a man throws a lady overboard from the front of a cruise ship.
Wow. That's a pretty vivid example.
It is, and a little unsettling.
Yeah, it is, but it does show the level of detail and complexity that these models can handle.
Absolutely. It's really remarkable.
All right, so that was a whirlwind tour of the latest in AI.
It was a lot to cover.
We talked about image generation with Reeve,
Yeah.
powerful language models like DeepSeek and Qwen,
Right.
the evolution of AI agents.
Those are getting really interesting.
They are, and we talked about making models more efficient and versatile.
Yeah, efficiency is key.
And of course, the ongoing development of products like ChatGPT.
A lot going on.
There is so much happening so fast.
It is hard to keep up.
It is. But hopefully this deep dive gave our listeners a good overview of what's important.
Yeah, curated digest of the most crucial insights. So you don't have to spend hours sifting through all the noise.
Right. So to wrap things up, I want to leave our listeners with a thought.
Okay.
Considering all these advancements, especially in areas like AI agents and video generation, what do you see as the most transformative potential or maybe the biggest challenge on the horizon?
That's a great question, and I think it's something we all need to be thinking about.
Yeah.
With models becoming more powerful and tools like LangChain, making them easier to use. What new applications of AI do you think will emerge in the near future?
And what are the societal implications of all this?
Yeah, it's an exciting and potentially daunting time.
It is. So we encourage our listeners to keep exploring these topics and to consider the broader implications of AI in their own lives and work.
Yeah, stay curious, stay informed.
The AI revolution is just getting started.
It is, and we'll be here to guide you through it.
That's right. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Thanks, everyone.
Until next time.
See ya.